In this video, we will use the Field Calculator tool to populate our new fields with values that we just researched. In the attribute table of our Lane County housing shapefile, scroll all the way to the end where you can see the 3 empty fields that we created. Right-click the Total Housing field and select the Calculate Field option. In the Geoprocessing pane, you should see the Calculate Field tool, and we can set the value of our field based on an expression that we state. Let's use the same attribute as the total housing estimate value from our metadata file. Note that this one ends with _001E. Let's find that same value in the fields selection box and double click on it. Then click Run. You'll notice that the total housing field became populated with different totals for each census tract. Next, let's use the Calculate Field tool on the Housing Insecurity field. Switch the field name and now search for the second code that we researched in the metadata file. This should be the one ending in _028E. In the Calculate Field tool, search for that value and double-click on it. Then click Run. Remember, this field now represents the estimate number of rented housing units that make less than $20,000 a year, and the housing costs are more than 30% of their income. Now in our third field, let's divide these two previous fields together. Switch the field to the Housing Insecurity Ratio field, and let's divide our Housing Insecurity field by our total housing. This should give us a percentage of housing units that are housing insecure by our criteria. Double-click on each of the respective fields and use the division symbol to separate the two. Then click Run. Notice that the last field is populated, but my values don't appear to be accurate in their percentages. You'll also get a warning that says that some of the values were null or 0, which is fine. Go back to the Add Field tab and go to where it says Percentage. And make sure to check the box that says Number represents a fraction, adjust it to show as a percentage. Then click OK. After I save my changes, going back into the Lane County Housing tab, I should now see that my last field is populated with accurate percentages. Sort this last field from highest to lowest, and in the far left boxes, let's go ahead and select the top 5 highest housing insecure census tracts. I can then click the Zoom to button, and my map will immediately zoom to these 5. Notice that the highest value has 54% of the housing units meeting the criteria that we established. Let's go ahead and export these 5 selected census tracts. Go ahead and right-click on the Lane County Housing layer and click Export. Title this output feature class as Top 5 Housing Insecure, or some abbreviation of that. Now let's go ahead and turn off our Lane County housing layer. And while selecting our top 5 housing layer, go to Appearance, and in the Transparency slider, we can turn up the transparency so that way it blends in with our base map and we can see the features underneath. In the next video, we will use the Symbology pane to stylize and classify our data.